Hi, I'm Adam Kunzmiller with RPG TV at Gen Con 2015, and I'm joined by Dave Chalker and Cam Banks from Greater Than Games, and we're here to have a nice little preview of the upcoming Sentinel Comics role-playing system, right? So we have some example characters here, but what can you tell me about the game in general?
So it's based in the Sentinel Comics universe, which people may know from the Sentinels of the Multiverse card game, or the Sentinel Tactics game, and a few comic books and that kind of thing. And so we've taken the superheroes from that universe and expanded it out into role-playing games, so you'll be able to take the role of your favorite hero, or make your own hero, to play in this universe, or just as another superhero game.
And I'm assuming, going against some of the established villains in that world as well.
You'll have villains that are established, that you know about. You'll be able to make your own. You'll also play in the environments that the game has made famous. All of that will be built into the system.
And what kind of role-playing experience will people get out of this system?
It's a superhero action game primarily. You're working together to overcome villains, but there are elements to it that kind of inform who the character is, how they operate, what would be a drawback to them, like kind of what their weaknesses are, both, in a literal sense, but also like what kind of family ties and that kind of thing they have. That's all kind of built into the system.
So you can have your children held hostage to try and hold sway over you, that kind of thing.
Yeah, so one of the characters' legacy is kind of known for having several generations of heroes, including a superpowered daughter, and so that actually factors directly into how you would play that character.
Cool. And how's the system work?
So it's kind of like a small dice pool system. You're always rolling 3 dice. You're taking a combination of the superpower for the hero, what they use to be a hero, some kind of background or skill training, and then what their status is based on how serious the situation has become, whether that's green, yellow, red, which kind of ramps up as you play more as the situation becomes more serious. And then you roll, and in general, you take the middle die and use it on one of these actions, like if you're attacking or trying to overcome a challenge in the situation. And then you have specific powers, or kickers we call them, that kind of enable you to do extra bonuses to those, because this is your superhero power. So like the fast character can get more done. The Wraith, who's a Batman-like character, can pull all kinds of things out of her utility belt easily and use those. And so that's all built into those kickers to make those actions more powerful and use different combinations of the dice.
Cool. And does the system, do you just have these pre-gens, or does the system allow you to build your own heroes within the Sentinels universe?
You'll be able to build your own. In fact, if you wanted to, you'd be able to throw out all the Sentinels stuff,
right.
If you really just wanted to run in that universe. To start, we're demoing here at Gen Con just the Freedom 5 plus their intern, which is kind of like the iconic super team there, and we're going to have products that, kind of more of a beginner box sort of setup that will have these pre-gen heroes, but then our ultimate goal is to get a source book that will have both characters you can play from the universe or make your own.
Cool. And what's the time frame on this looking like right now? It seems like you're starting to pull things together. Do you have an ETA on release date?
Well, we're aiming for Gen Con of next year.
Okay.
But in the meantime, we have a lot of work to do. So more testing and more production. The game's been going amazingly well. Phil, Menard, and Dave have been running the tests. And the 3 of us together are the designers, so we've been doing our own part and making sure we can figure out ways to overcome which flaws we can see after testing, and then sort of beef up the parts we think are really popular. But it's hardly anything to complain about right now, right?
Yeah, we still have to look at the actual surveys, but all the feedback that's been getting back to us has been really, really positive, including a good mix of people who know role-playing games and people who are just fans of the universe, fans of the card game, and want to get into it. So they all have been playing and all have been having a good time.
Have you been showing it to people who aren't familiar with Sentinels and seeing kind of how they've been taking this as the fresh introduction to this world?
So far we've just had ticketed demos, and then pretty much the super fans just snap those up right away. But we've been having some where we've been pulling in outside people for our internal test to make sure that it feels natural to them as well, with just some brief introduction to these characters, and that also seems to be hitting the spot there too.
Cool. And will people who are really big fans of the card game see their favorite cards mirrored in abilities or something like that in the system as well?
Yeah, for these first demo characters, pretty much all of the kicker names are one of the cards that already exist in the game. And there's flavor text on all of those cards. And Cam has kind of written a lot of these elements into, to kind of weave those story elements into those characters.
Very cool.
Yeah. Each character has 2 principles, or they have more they can choose from, but they have 2 at any one time. And they are things like the principle of speed or the principle of loyalty or whatever. And they give you ways to get XP, more or less, which we call spotlight moments. And also to say, well, here's a thing I can do without having to roll the dice for. And here's something which I can generally get in trouble with doing, and so on. And those things actually help inform roleplay as well as be mechanical in some way too.
I also see, just from glancing at this sheet, that you've also carried over that incapacitated thing that Sentinels have, which is really great. Like, I'm out, but I'm still able to contribute and still like engaged and involved.
Yeah, so it means even if they're knocked out, they're still their presence is still known in the scene and all that.
The cool thing about that is because we have green, yellow, and red, and then out, it spells gyro, which we could say is this. That's how it works.
Very nice, very nice. Well, thanks, guys. And once again, that was a quick little preview of the Sentinels. What is the actual title of the role-playing
Sentinel
game?
Comics role-playing game.
Sentinel Comics role-playing game. Great, thanks.